Hello, friends. This is my first time addressing you directly like this. We are going to be experimenting with a new format for the show. I think me and Mark had some internal discussions and have just felt like we are blessed with such incredible people to work with, and people are so generous with their time to come on our show, for lack of a better word, that we'd like the interviews to be longer and we'd like them to be a little bit more casual. So we're trying it this month, and I hope you enjoy. This month, we interviewed Paul Kesserwani, the CEO of Cushion. Paul is an absolutely remarkable individual. There are certain folks that if you're in this business, you'll meet and you just say, I'll fund them in a lemonade stand. I don't care what they want to do. That's a winner. That's a technologist. And Paul is of that breed. I know Cushion is going to be the first of many successes in his career, and we'll look forward to funding him every chance I get. We had a long conversation about 2020 and what that's meant for Cushion. We touch on his leadership lessons from the year. We touch on the team that he's built and the state of the market in general. There's some real gold in there, and you will be the smarter for having listened to the rest of the show. Not because of anything that comes out of my mouth, certainly, but Paul's very special. So I hope you enjoy the rest. And without further ado, let's go see me and Paul. All right, we're live.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. 2020, the end is nigh. It's been a different year.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm actually in our San Francisco office taking apart the tables and emptying it out because we're going to be going fully remote starting next month. So it's a little bittersweet, but it's the trend this year.
Are you going to start another chair business?
Probably, yeah. We sold those 15 shares earlier in the year and made a nice profit on our move. But no, we've had this office, but our lease is up and it's been empty for 6 months. So it's time to just accept that we're not coming back to the office for a while. But
once you can, you'll find something in the city.
Our team has asked me that they're really almost begging me that once it's safe to do so, they want another office. The big issue though now is that we have employees from Hawaii all the way to Valencia, Spain, and everywhere in between. And so half the team will be full-time remote. And then I think for everyone else, we'll have an office that if they want to drop in and use, they can. But for folks with kids and like studio apartments with their significant other, yeah, they want somewhere else to go. That's just not going to work for them long-term.
Well, I don't know that a kind of 2020 review would be complete without a little bit of talk about work remote. I mean, I know how much energy you always derive from being with the team, and I know you love your team. So, I mean, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely we feed off of each other's energy big time, and we always put in long hours, not because anyone's telling people to do so, but it's because everyone has just like massive pride in the problems we're solving. The difference though is when you're sitting in an office, you can all just get some takeout, hang out for an hour, just change some scenery, and then get back to the grind. Whereas when folks are just sitting at home and there is none of that change of scenery, you're just going from your couch to your desk to your bed. It's taking a toll, I feel, on people's mental health in general. And so I am looking forward to having at least the optionality of coming together in an office, because right now that's not the case.
Well, and totally, that totally resonates here. I would say, despite that, you've been extremely successful this year. So, please take us through that.
Yeah, so 2020 has been crazy. I almost feel guilty given how successful we've been, because I know a lot of people are suffering, but what makes me feel good at the end of the day is the products we're building are improving people's financial lives. So quick recap, we've built a service that negotiates people's bank fees and credit card interest automatically. Massive pain point for over 100 million people. This was our flagship product. We're the first company to ever do it. And it's been, as you know, more than many other people, it's been a wild ride. The reason 2020 has gone tremendously well for us is a combination of some moves we made at the end of 2019, combined with people really needing to scrutinize their finances due to the pandemic. It was kind of like a lot of the stars aligned for Cushion. And the big changes that we made were, one, we used to offer Cushion on Facebook Messenger for a variety of reasons back in the day. We decided to part ways and build our own app. And the core of our system has gotten a ton smarter, and I'll talk more about that. But we also made a very interesting business model change where we charge upfront annually, which is incredibly, I'd say aggressive is probably the right word.
Well, your investors were terrified. I mean, I spoke to everyone on the cap table as you were going through that change, and like, frankly, I'm sort of in the Paul Kesserwani hero worship camp. But we were all like, hope this works, because I liked it when Cushion was just selling like free money.
So this was not just a gut reaction move. We actually spent about 3 months talking to our customers, surveying our customers, and understanding would they be open to paying upfront annually, and explaining to them that it takes sometimes many cycles before we can start to get the money back. And in some cases, we'll get you money back the same day. Other times it could take 30, 60 days. But the big thing for me is I made some cardinal mistakes early on. I stepped into fintech as a tech guy, and I'm like, oh, they do gain sharing, they do monthly subscriptions, everybody must have this figured out. And what I realized along the way is that no, not everybody has everything figured out. In fact, my purview at Twitter when I grew the revenue operations team was, how do we get recurring revenue? How do we have deeper relationships with our customers? And by charging people upfront annually, they're invested in the process. They're going to be more willing to help you. You guys are both heading in the same direction together. And so, yes, there's more friction to get somebody to pay you upfront, but once they do, they're in it for the long haul, that 12 months, and they want it to work out because they've given you that money. So we did make this bold bet, and I told everyone on our cap table, trust me, and worst case, if I'm making a huge mistake here, we can switch back to monthly subscription or gain sharing. Just let me do what I think is right here.
I actually don't recall you saying we can switch back if it doesn't go well.
I told that to some of the investors who are overly freaked out, but the reality is there was no. I mean, we obviously can do that at any moment, but when 75% of your customer base tells you I will pay you upfront annually, this is such a big problem in my life, then you have the signal you need to make those moves.
And I think it's a clever play that you made on multiple reasons. And I think most companies can't do what you can do. I mean, most people just can't build the technology that Cushion does. Most people don't have the work ethic or the talent. But it does create so much friction up front that you at least know what's not working if the business isn't growing, because it's just the value proposition isn't strong enough. So, I mean, that's never a problem that you guys have had, which is interesting. And of course, people are mimicking it because it worked for you guys. I would say, like, if we kind of switch to the market more broadly, there's kind of like I don't know, it seems odd to me. There's like a bit of cognitive dissonance going on. It seems like, all these traditional Series A funds are raising monster funds with this fintech focus. A lot of them are talking about, I think seed market is more competitive than it's been, but it's not, it's nothing like the Series A market. There seems to be a ton of acquisition going on, but basically all enterprise. And so the question for me is, like, I don't really see for most consumers their financial lives being improved by fintech. And like, there's all this money, all this acquisition. So like, help me understand it. What do you think?
Yeah, I've prefaced this before. I don't consider myself like a finance or fintech expert. I just consider myself a guy who loves to solve really challenging problems. And the problem I identified 3-4 years ago has remained the same. Unfortunately, I hate the fact that I'm even saying that, but it's become faster, easier, and cheaper to launch a fintech app, thanks to Plaid and Finicity and aggregators like that. And then it's gone faster, easier, and cheaper to launch a banking product because of Synapse 5 Bond, now Stripe Treasury. But So that's great. There's a lot more optionality. I'm a consumer. I can open a digital banking account with lots of white space and amazing, UX on the fly, and I have a new checking account. Wonderful. Then what? A lot of the core problems are not solved. The reason why people are overdrafting their accounts are not being solved. People's finances are not being optimized. Like I talk about this with you a lot, which is, wealthy people have like family offices, a whole group of team that stay on top of your money to make sure that it continues to grow, is not leaking anywhere. But that's what the consumer needs, is like almost the entire team staying on top of their finances, relentlessly optimizing it. And that's what we've been trying to build. And we just needed this first killer product to prove to folks that, yeah, if you hire PhDs in machine learning, put them on a $15 billion data set, and relentlessly like work in lockstep with your customer base, you can start to make magic happen. And that's what we're focused on right now.
Yeah, totally. I think we're on the same page. And yeah, every time you talk about the business and where we're going, I can't help but get even more excited. I mean, the other thing I would say, like, and we talk about this at Vestigo, there tends to be these sort of cycles of crowding in fintech. When I first got into this business, everything was a robo advisor. And then like my first year as a VC, everyone was a crypto company. And then it feels like there was kind of like a vertical specific challenger bank thing. And now, like, I don't know, I get a sense that there's sort of like a Plaid for X hype cycle, and like, I don't know, 7 payroll API companies. But I mean, I guess like, what do you see out there today, which is kind of like a hype cycle, and what, if anything, is different and exciting?
Hype cycle. I mean, I think the challenger bank hype is not gone. I thought it would be over by now, but still challenger banks are sprouting up left and right. And I'm actually noticing investors are in one of two camps. Either like, if you're trying to build another bank, don't even talk to me, or I'm super excited about this, tell me about your branding and marketing strategy. So there are still a bunch of investors who are excited about that. Some of the things I'm noticing in the market though is data aggregation is still not considered to be a solved problem. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of Plaid and what they've done. However, a lot of companies still complain, yep, our connections are dropping. Yeah, the data is not clean enough. And if you spend time on Reddit, there are people saying, is there a better version of Plaid out there? Where can I get better, cleaner data sets? There's a lot of problems to solve. And I think people are picking up on that. And so that's why there are new aggregation companies coming out, as crazy as that might sound. And then, yeah, there are companies trying to become the Plaid for payroll, for utilities, for a bunch of other stuff. So that's all exciting to me, because I don't like the idea of there just being one or two companies that we all have to rely on. And then we are held back by basically their reach and their creativity. Like, I think what's been missing in fintech in general is APIs are great. SDKs to me are better. Because an API will let two systems communicate, but an SDK says, here's some APIs, here's some libraries, here's some tools. Now go create a whole new universe of products. And that's kind of just the thinking we have internally is, cool, we're going to solve this problem for the consumer. Great. And in our path of building that, can we set it up in a way that if we were to hand this to someone else, they could then unlock 10 new features that we never thought about? So we don't want to be the folks who are just holding back, I guess, creativity and new value adds for the consumer. So the short answer is, I think I'm thinking about fintech very differently to a lot of other people, and I'm either very right or very wrong, and we'll find out.
Yeah, I've got a hunch as to which that is, but that's fantastic. I know, when we were kind of doing the pre-interview and chatting, you had talked about wanting to I don't know, write a verbal love letter to your team, but I'm happy to give you the opportunity to do that. But I would also appreciate maybe like some leadership lessons, like that you've won through battle basically this year, and then talk about your team. I know you're proud of them.
Yeah. So leadership lessons. So for me, something I think I've just been pretty good at since the get-go is I don't ever rest on my laurels at all. So I'm constantly auditing myself. I'm auditing the product pretty much monthly, and then bringing on board some folks who are super talented that are auditing the market nonstop. So this constant idea of like introspection, even when things are going great, I never feel like things are going great because I'm like, yeah, we're probably missing 15 things that could make us much better. So I think that has helped me make some good decisions that the team really appreciates, because it's not like, hey, we're going to work on X because I feel like it. It's because, hey, here's an audit I did. What do you think? And everyone's like, wow, that's true. We should be doing things better. And so everyone's starting to think like that about their functions. Two is
Yeah.
our team.
Sorry,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
can we dig in a little bit on that
Yep.
audit piece? Because I've had multiple conversations where with CEOs who definitely struggle to make the time to do those audits for a number of different things. So, I mean, is there any tricks around your process, or is that just an ongoing thing that has become part of your psyche?
It's not really a hard process. All I do is I just go through I basically sit in a room, our conference room here. I delete our app off my phone, and I start going through this as if I have no idea what cushion is. And then I start to question everything. Why is this here? Why are you asking me to put in this information at this level? I don't even know what you're going to do for me. And I just go through it. And then it's funny because we make changes. Then I go through it again with a new lens the next month. I'm like, okay, this is a lot cleaner, but there's two screens that shouldn't be here. Why am I making this so difficult? So going through that process and writing it out, and then I summarize it into 2 sentences. I'm not signing up for Cushion today because of this, this, and that. And then that becomes like the roadmap for the next month of features and product work for the team. And so that's where we're just like very aligned. Everyone's like, yeah, that's true. Why are we doing this? And by the way, we quantify everything. This is all measured. So when I say, oh, this is a friction, and then I go write some queries and back it up and say, 22% of people stopped at this point in the funnel. There's too much friction here. And that's what I was going to say is our team is just almost insanely overly data driven at this point. We measure everything and we measure those measurements. So we're making good decisions as quickly as possible.
Well, I think most people, frankly, don't have the, because that has to be painful. Like avoiding complacency and every month re-downloading the app. I mean, like most people just can't take that level of pain, I don't think. But that's a wonderful insight. Thank you for sharing it.
For me, it's not pain at all. I feel like it's very straightforward. There's people who've left their jobs, left Square and Credit Karma and Coinbase and Bill.com and to join us and to follow this mission. And they have lives and families, and they're committing way too much of their time to Cushion. So if I don't at least respect that and say, cool, well, I'm going to make sure that what you work on next month is incredibly meaningful by taking some time and auditing what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, then I probably shouldn't run this company. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that's fantastic. Paul, I mean, if there's anything else you want to add or say, please feel free, but it gets you going, and there's always something interesting to say, always something different and intelligent, which is a rare combination.
The only thing I would add for me is just that, like, I have to say, like, my team is killing it, and I couldn't be happier with the team we put together. But I'm also deeply thankful for our investors like yourself, Vestigo, Flourish, A4. It's actually humbling how much effort is being put in by our investors to help us on like a daily and weekly basis. I can't have to pinch myself and say, wow, these people gave us millions of dollars, and then they're actually like auditing what we're doing with us. They're helping strategize on the business. And so for anybody who's trying to start a company, make sure you find great investors, because that will actually catapult the company forward for sure.
This is self-serving, but I do feel like we have a great cap table at Cushion, and it's, as much as I've loved working with you, and I need to make some new friends so you can keep hiring engineers. It's been wonderful to meet the folks, whether it's Jake and Sheil or Gaurav and Anamitra. They're just incredible to work with.
Definitely.
So it's awesome. It takes a village, but we're going to get there.
Yeah, we're making it happen.
All right. Well, thanks so much for participating in this. Hope you like the new format, and
it's always fun to catch up with you. So yeah,
for sure.
thanks.
All right. Thanks.